So, a lot of people in life right now, right? They have a reverse mindset, and that reverse mindset is causing people to be more pessimistic than optimistic. What do I mean by that? A lot of people think that they start off a journey with 10 people, and by the time they get halfway, they got 5 people that they move backwards. Because now they only have 5 people. See, the subtraction that they're looking at shouldn't be looked at as a loss. Because if you're moving forward, that loss is technically a gain. Because that was dead weight. But in this day and age, people are looking at it like that loss was my gain. So now I gotta stop and go back and get that. And when you stop and go back and get that, that's time wasted.
You already went that far to then go back the same trajectory that you just traversed.
Right. Now, they didn't ask this question before they went backwards. You know, after they stopped, they didn't ask this question. Wait a minute. Did I really lose or did I really gain? Because if I'm going forward and I'm looking at my watch and I'm looking at the calendar and I'm ahead of time, I'm ahead of date, then really, what the fuck did I lose? I ain't lose nothing.
Nothing at all.
But
you had the
fear,
experience to gain as well.
But fear is a big thing because now, like I said, you started off with 10 people moving forward. Now you got 5 people at halfway. You know what I mean? Who are these 10 people? These 10 people could have been your closest allies. You know what I mean? This is what you're thinking in your head, but what is they thinking in their head? Because now, as you can remember now, you're halfway with 5 people, so what the fuck are they thinking in their head, the other 5 people that ain't there with you?
Did they go a different route? Did they stay behind on their own trajectory? Because there's a lot of factors that could influence why certain people fall off. And the same reason that you're saying that certain things that's dead weight, when things are holding you back, they will naturally let themselves go.
Right.
The universe will naturally let them fall, and they will show you their true colors, and it doesn't really matter because you already have your trajectory, and that's predestined. You can choose to change trajectories or go back if you decide.
But now when you go back, you can't get mad at nobody but yourself because you chose. Good morning, Gene.
What's up, brother?
Good morning, my
All
guy.
right.
Yeah,
I was going to take care of that, man. Go about your business, man. Go to work.
gotta go.
Yes, sir. Go to work. I got that. All right, so back to you now. Sorry about that.
No, no problem. So, understanding all the variables that can come out of you changing a trajectory by deciding to go back, that's not a loss. Why? Because when you're going back to a point that you've been to already.
Right.
So you know how to be able to change trajectories in that certain point. That's not a loss.
I like
That's
that.
a fucking gain.
I like that angle that you just said. But let me show you something.
Yeah.
A lot of people, how many people are addicted to something in their life? And then when they
Many.
quit and they go around that nostalgic feeling or smell or sensation, they relapse. So now let me show you something. If you saw that pit right there of fire, would you jump into it?
No.
So now you see why that right there, what you said, is a great idea, what you said, because there's some people who are strong enough to go back and try to pull those 5 that they just lost.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It might not be a complete success. You might not get all 5. You might get 2, 1, 3, however it may be. Just saying. But at that point in time, halfway, why stop and go back? That's a good question. Why stop and go back?
I feel
What's the value that's making you go back?
I feel like there's true value in if you don't feel like the trajectory that you're going currently is going to, number one, be favorable to you, your mental health, or your soul, or in any aspect of that aspect, you know? If it's detrimental to you, and you're like, damn, this is fucking me up, I'm gonna go back to square one and choose a different trajectory. Now I have all this experience, so I don't have to just start from square one per se.
But see, now you're going in a different direction because now, like I said, we're in a journey. 10 people, now we halfway, 5 people, but you have success. Why didn't you not see it as
no,
success?
if I have success, you're saying? I thought
You
you
know
were
what I'm
saying if I was one of the people that dropped out.
No, not you one of the people that dropped out. You're on a journey, you have 10 people behind you, 5 people dropped off. Why are you feeling like that's a loss and a need for you to go back instead of looking at it as a gain and a need for you to go forward?
Oh, in that point, in that aspect, I would definitely move forward because now I have a more solid and loyal crew. Now I know who's gonna be with me. How long did it take for those people to drop off?
That's a good question. Nobody knows, but upon the journey, everything drops off. It's just like the season when the leaves get ready, when it turns fall, the leaves drop off. Nobody really knows how long it takes to drop off. They just drop off, and by a certain time, it's off.
Bare tree, yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, so it's like a very vague question that can't be answered with a specific answer, but you can observe. But you can observe.
No, I'm saying dropping gems out here. I can look at
Word, but you can observe, you know what I mean, what's going on around you and how to change it, you know what I mean? Or make adjustments to whether it's going to fall on you. Because nobody knows when the sky's going to open up and fall. Let's be honest, nowadays you can't get the weatherman to be accurate. So, you know what I mean? Like,
said there was no rain supposed to be today. It's been raining since the morning.
they said it was supposed to rain all last night. I don't even got a pool in that hole that we just dug. So guess what? You know what I mean? Like that just shows you nothing
They
is
don't know.
accurate.
Exactly.
Nobody knows. But what you can do is just search for the logic in things and
Have an educated guess.
have an educated guess or educated understanding to what's going to happen. See, you gotta look at the cause and reaction to things. A lot of people in this day and age, what the hell is cause and reaction they talking about? Cause and reaction. Velcro. You got one side that grabs, the other side that sticks. When you put them together, they hold up.
You put them apart to make that sound.
Make that sound. You know what I mean? Like, and that's the sound everybody's making right now because they don't understand what the fuck we talking about. You understand? But hey, it is what it is.
Definitely.
But my thing is that society in this day and age, everybody's looking backwards, and they're not asking the question, why am I looking backwards? When they stop long enough to look backwards, they're not asking themselves, why are they looking backwards? I started off with 10 people. I'm here with 5, but I got a whole house on the hill, a business over here, car. You know, my kids is in fucking Howard or whoever, and wherever
We're
it may be.
expanding, and all these 5
But you
people
looking back
here,
over here,
they're
right?
all project
Watch it.
managers.
Watch it. You looking back over here, right? And 9 times out of 10, the only reason why you looking back over here is because you hear the murmurs, you hear the mumbling, you hear the, oh, that motherfucker think he's too good. You feel me? That's probably what the other 5 is saying. Who knows? That's probably what the other 5 is saying. I done been through that.
And
Whereas, you know, where I'm progressing in something, and a motherfucker will be like, oh, you acting too good, or you too... No, it's not that. Because where I'm going right now, I can't wear this jeans and hoodie no more. I got to put on this suit and a tie. You know why? Because remember when we was growing up, we was in the sandbox, and our moms was talking about, oh, we can only eat this cheese and bread sandwich, no mayonnaise was afforded. You know what I mean? Like,
real shit.
and we were saying that we wasn't going to be like that no more. So how did I change from this whole script? Did I change if I'm still chasing that bag? Or did you change if you're sitting in the hood smoking a blunt talking about I changed?
Nah.
You see what I'm
Change
saying?
ain't bad, first of all.
So why am I looking back? Like, what is the monetary value that got my heart captured and wanting to go back if I'm making good progress with the 5 that I have now versus the 10 that I started with? why am I gonna depreciate the 5 that I'm standing with to go find the 5 that's been kicking me in my back for that left? Us to sit here and fight with the lion, tigers, and bears.
That
on
makes
that
no
journey.
sense. That makes no sense.
Don't make no sense. You see what I'm saying?
I believe one of the best traits that a man can have is accountability and self-awareness.
That's what I want to talk about. See? Accountability. Nobody knows how to be accountable for something. You know what? I stepped on Brandon's fucking foot and I didn't say sorry. I just ice grilled him. So if he punched me in my face, that was my fault.
You did simple.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I got you.
Like, that's my fault. So if he punched me in my face, that's my fault. How many people can eat that?
Not most.
I'm that type of nigga. You know, fair is fair. You know what? Homie. If I violated you, fuck, you're supposed to violate me back. That's the law of the land. I'm expecting you to violate me back. However you violate me back is however you violate me back, homie. A violation is a violation. It don't matter. There's no segregation. You can't separate that at all. A violation is a violation.
But do you feel like those ingrained like understandings of like these invisible lines that certain people understand to walk in, and I'm not saying that anybody does whatever, you know, I'm just saying there's certain guidelines, especially within street culture, especially within, you know, different hoods and different gangs and all associations, there's invisible lines that people know not to cross, and everybody kind of just follows that. How do you see yourself applying that within the business world while still being accountable for the things that you have gone through? Like representing who you are as a person.
I'm gonna be honest with you.
It's like a two-part question.
Like Jay-Z broke this down to me a long time ago. Sometimes the rap game remind me of the crack game. You understand what I'm saying? Like, so, it ain't nothing new. Like Nipsey Hussle said, man, it ain't nothing new. You just gotta adapt, learn your surroundings, like Sun Tzu said. You know what I mean? You gotta be aware of your surroundings, the lay of the land, know your lay of the land. You understand what I'm saying? If I'm on the top of the hill, you at the bottom of the hill shouldn't be fucking with me at all. Because I can see you from all 365 angles. If I fuck with 360-degree angles, if I felt like it. You know what I mean? Like, I could set the trap already for you at the middle of the hill. I could allow you to get as far as I want you to before I demolish you. So now for me, when I step into a new territory, a new element, a new zone, like Dr. Strange Part 2 movie, you know, when he asked a little girl, what do we do in this world? You know what I mean? That's the first thing I'm gonna do. I'm gonna ask you how I maneuver around in your neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying?
Same thing, because
Because I don't want to disrespect what you're doing here, because I don't know what the fuck you're doing here.
Exactly.
So I gotta learn the rules. So for me, I feel like people in society, when they go buy shit or when they jump into shit, they don't learn the rules. So like, you go to the store, you buy a TV or something like that, or air fryer or something like that. You don't even open up the manual and look at the shit. You just plug the shit in and think like you gonna know everything. Like, now what if they had a special function that you didn't know about? Now you go to somebody else's house, they got the same appliance and they showing you a function you didn't know about. You sitting there like, I got the same shit. Oh, I didn't know it does that.
Exactly.
Like, if a person is on their game, they know that you know, they can get you sometime because you ain't paying attention all the time.
You ain't reading.
You ain't staying focused. You ain't staying dangerous.
But that's also a trait within a lot of business people and street mentality people. I think it's one and the same. Like the business world, like 50 Cent said, is more cutthroat. You feel me? Like business, they're gonna sit next to you and be like, hey, smile in your face, shake your hand, and they'll be like, take your shit. You know, like that's crazy.
Because you're dumb enough to let them smile in your face, shake your hand, and take
That's
your
why
shit.
you
That's
gotta-
what I'm talking about. You gotta know your
Stay sharp,
territory.
yeah.
You gotta stay dangerous. You gotta know what you're doing. everybody right now is running off of pride and acting like they know what they're doing, but they don't know shit. And then when they get jammed up, they crying. Oh, how you help me? Like, no, homie, embrace your shit. That's why I'm talking about the accountability. Embrace your shit. Know what the fuck you doing before you get into that arena. So that way you ain't sitting there talking about, I didn't know.
There's no excuse if you didn't know. Ignorance is a choice.
And
All
then
in
even
all.
when you make your choice, homie, live with that choice, homie. Don't try to change your choice after you fucking ship something. Because by then, nigga, you and your crew's on the water. And that current gonna suck you down under.
The undertow catches. Goes you farther out to sea where you drown.
When you drown,
Because
nigga,
you're
you
out
shark
here
bait
worried.
now. Shark bait now. You see the concept?
Mm-hmm.
You see the concept? Now you shark bait now.
Yeah.
Because you got into something that you didn't know how to get out of, and now you're getting carried away. And then as you're getting carried away, there's some shit out there that's hungry, and they looking at you like you lunch.
Right.
Like my boy Michael Myers said in that Christian book that he wrote. You know what I mean? There was an atheist swimming, and there's a shark. He was hungry. You know what I mean? The atheist saw the shark and prayed that the shark didn't eat the nigga. The shark prayed to God and said, "Thank you for the meal you supplied me." There you go. Shout out to my boy Mike Myers, man.
Mike Myers, yo. You mean the dude that played all the powers, right?
Yes, sir.
Aye,
He's
aye.
actually a full-blown Christian.
He's a full-blown Christian?
Of course.
I did not know this. Yo, Austin Powers is one of my all-time favorite. You know, I did a Halloween thing for like my 7th grade, like, you know, little Halloween party and shit. Bruh, and I dressed as Michael Myers, as Austin Powers. Yeah, with the blue, blue velvet.
Yeah,
blue
the cat
velvet.
like playing Mason Biggle.
But I was short, so it was a small suit. You feel me? I found that shit in fucking Goodwill, G. I found a velvet, full velvet, and then corduroy blue, and I did that with some black like church shoes, and I just the white socks. Yo, people love me, G. That's when I knew like I like theatrics and like things like that. I was always in plays, bro. I was really good, acting wise, because I know how to get into character. If you ever did dramatics, because I feel like you understand how to put yourself into those like mind states. Like you understand your body. Like I as well understand certain things, but I'm still learning because I had a time away from myself. And I don't know if you know how that feels, man.
That feels,
but
bro.
like the way I worded it, you know what I mean? Language can be traversed sometimes.
Yes, it can be, but listen, when you've been taught and traveled, like I've been to the hell of back.
Yeah.
If you know me, and for those who don't know me, I've been to prison. I was born in Antigua and Barbuda. I lived down there until I was 13, came here in 1995. So, like, I've been culture shocked on top of culture shock on top of culture shock. So, yes, I can understand a very vast amount of languages and expressions. So, hell yeah, bro. Like, listen, bro. I've been in the mental health institute before while I was incarcerated. Because to lie to you right now would be a dishonesty to everybody else who has this type of situation going on. I have anxiety, I suffer from PTSD, certain things trigger me. And a lot of people don't pay attention to me when I tell them about my triggers, so that way they don't trigger me. They only see me blow up, and then they're like, well, what the fuck, what the hell is wrong with you? And nobody takes the time to really deal with people who have mental issues. Mental health is real. If you're addicted to social media right now, you have a mental health issue. Because let me ask you this question. How bad is your life after you get off of social media? I'll wait. A lot of people not going to answer that honestly. If you feel the need that you can't be alone by yourself all the time, that is a mental condition. If somebody just looks at you the wrong way and you feel like, you want to blow off their head, that's a mental condition. Because now the question is, why? You understand what I'm saying? So therefore, I'm not going to sit here and act naive to myself, nor him, or anybody else for that matter. I'd rather understand you. Not sit there, and okay you to death, acting like I know what the fuck you're saying when I really don't know what the fuck you're saying. And then after I leave you, I'm not even going to Google it up to see what the fuck this is. To even be like, okay, I'm going to be a true friend to him. So, I definitely understand what you mean, bro. You're away from yourself. I was away from myself in that 10 years. I still feel like I'm away from myself. I still feel like I'm reaching out somewhere to try to grab a little piece of me that's floating around. Does that make me a bug out? By society standards, yeah, it makes me a bug out. But to me, I'm still a human being. I have a problem, just like you do. But guess what? I'm just, gangsty enough to say it. Everybody else is too proud not to.
Like I said, the awareness of being able to admit the problem is what gives you the clarity to find solutions. Awareness brings clarity. What happens when you step inside of a lake? As you're stepping inside a lake, you are disturbing the natural sediment that is settled at the bottom, bringing that up into the molecules of water. As it travels, it doesn't allow you to clearly see, but when you stop moving, when you stop and you bring awareness to your breath and you bring awareness to your surroundings, you can see all the sediment begins to settle down, and it brings you clarity, and then you can see where to step next. That's how you find out the next move.
But let me ask you a question.
Yes.
Does those settlements just settle back down instantaneously?
Of course not. It takes time.
Time.
How do things
people,
react?
Time.
How do things react underwater? Slower. Yeah. So that means that it takes double the time, which means it's double the lesson, it's double the earning of you understanding how good it is to be patient.
So let me ask you a question. So do you consider that time away from yourself like being in water? Where it was like you're just like slowly drifting back down to settling to who you are again?
Or where was your origin?
Water.
You were in the waters of your mother, and that was the origin. Yeah. Coming back to that, there's a meditative practice that it's called a regression. You basically meditate and you take 4 deep breaths in, hold it for 4 seconds, let it out for 4 seconds, hold that for 4 seconds, and you continue that for 21 times. And you get into a trance state. Once you get into that state, you essentially imagine yourself in a pool of water and you're floating. And doing that regresses you back into a state that reminds you of where you came from. There was a place before.
So anybody, I'm sorry to cut you off.
No problem.
So anybody out there ever felt real pressured, like society, the walls, everything was closing in on you, and you found yourself next to a body of water somewhere, and you was just looking at it, and it made you relax, and everything that you had going on with you kind of like settled down, and you were able to think clear? Yeah, that's what we're talking about right now.
Exactly. There's so many lessons to find within water, like what happens when it rains, the natural process of water, of it evaporating from the ground, going up, the rebirth, going up into the clouds to gain the strength so it gathers. That's what we have to remember. We are water. Bruce Lee said it best. We are water, and we have to now evaporate and allow our true selves, our true essence to fly, to be up, to go up in the clouds and unify with everyone else's true essence. As that builds, some of the strongest storms start just from a cloud. That's all we have to do. We have to become a cloud. All of our minds, we understand how it feels to be segregated from a reality that we're presented. We're presented a beautiful reality. And yes, there's beauty in it. And there's beauty in the freedom. But what is the true price of freedom?
You know what's crazy? That you said segregation from reality. Now we got Oculus and stuff like that, right? And it's segregation. Now you like the same house that we live in physically right now, right? They got them in the metal world, whereas you can buy them. People own our houses. People paying real money, like Jay-Z said. People paying real money on food, like.
It's real shit. It's real shit, man. Yo. But
people
that's
spending real money on face shit. That's shocking me, man. Like, come on, like.
it's ridiculous.
But that's the truth of it now. So the segregation of reality is fucking real, and it has always been real. It's been real since Dick Tracy. Come on, that watch. You got an Apple Watch now. See what I'm saying? At one point in time, trying to put the camera on the watch. Like, let's be honest. Like, so segregation of reality is real. Oh yeah, this is actually we on a little break time from work and all that. So you see the crazy ass pants and the hat and all that. You know what I mean? We over there digging a dish and shit like that.
I'm out there with some parachute hammer pants.
We
right
just smoked the blunt and caught a vibe, and that's why I'll be on this vibe right now with y'all. So yeah,
Word up.
but you know what I mean? Segregation of reality. You know what I mean? It is real. It is fucking real.
Not too many feel that.
And everybody that you talk to right now, matter of fact, if you look at everybody that you got as a friend on your Instagram right now, I guarantee you they reposted something that somebody else said and they deleted it. So now when you talk to these people, right, they're giving you Instagram, you know, thoughts. They're not giving you thoughts that they thought about on their own. Nobody really thinks about how you feel. They don't vicariously look for you anymore. They don't put their shoe. They don't put their foot in your shoe to see how you feel. Like Mary, right? It's a God in me. You know what I mean? Like when she said, when she go behind closed doors. You know what I mean? Like, you don't know what the fuck I gotta deal with. You don't know my life. You don't know that at all. But yet and still, you wanna rock with me. You know what I mean? You wanna be like me because I make it look cool. But it ain't cool when I go behind that door and my ribs is touching. It ain't cool when I go behind that door and I got a black eye. You know what I mean? It ain't cool. How are you vicariously living your life with somebody else? How are you projecting yourself? Where's reality from this fake shit now? When you walk down the street, everybody got on the same shit. How are you original? What, because you put a different color to it? You're still not original. When you go to the motherland and you see the different tribes and ancestral backgrounds, right? You see the originality. When I took a trip down to DC the other day, man, I saw the originality. Every building had a different color. Every building had different graffiti and stuff on there. It spoke to me. It told me more about you. It told me more about your struggle. It told me about where your mindset is at. When you come over here, everything looks the same. It's like we in the Bees movie. Everybody got the same fucking Corvette.
Same house.
Same house, different. Like, come on, homie, I'm living in a movie. In my 10 years, bro, when we were sitting in them cells in D Block 42 Company, Attica Correctional Facility, bro. everybody's cell is different. So you walk past a nigga's cell, some niggas had the little shits decked out with the red, the purple, the beige, the blue, however you did your shit, you know what I mean? Everybody was different. So that kept me grounded. I thank God for prison because it kept me grounded in the era where everybody was getting twisted and turned around from what was reality. So now when I come out, everybody looking at me like
And yet they don't understand that you're a time capsule.
I'm a time capsule. I'm what time used to look like.
Nation, exactly.
I'm what time used to look like. You're looking like what time is now. But let me show you something. If you crying fucked up and this nigga just came home out of nowhere, started a whole business, you know what I mean? And I ain't crying fucked up, and I'm fucked up. What that make you look like? What's your reality? If all you doing is sitting down, and I was supposed to pay this bill, but I got high. You feel me?
That ain't nothing to ever try to. Oh, you know, like what type of shit is that?
What?
Like that's where the accountability comes in. When you understand there's a difference between I have the time and place to smoke. If you could smoke and function and still pay your bills, then by all means. But there is a means to an end. If you have a bigger vision, there are some sacrifices and there are some things that you can withhold. Even if it's instead of 2 to 3, 1 time a day. You feel me? There's certain things that can be done to make things stretch out so that the output of resources stays within. And with that extra time, there is that extra incentive of utilizing those funds to reinvest into the business or into the vision or into the mission that you have. Sometimes you don't need to reinvest into the mission monetarily. If you reinvest in effort, in efficiency, in planning, proper preparation prevents poor performance.
Okay.
That's the real shit. The 5 P's is the real shit. You have to prepare because it's better to be a warrior in a garden than to be a gardener at war. You need to be prepared for battle, and that doesn't mean you need to be prepared to fight if it gets to that. I'm speaking in layman's terms, like trying to make it not be so easily understood, because knowledge is something that you have to seek. So if something is not understood, then you seek that misunderstanding so you can clarify that within you, because you're waters and light.
Well, layman's terms, you are.
Layman's terms is trying to be.
Transparent.
That's more cryptic. I apologize. More cryptic or parabolic,
But you definitely are onto something. You are definitely onto something. You know what I mean? And, people just need to take the time. See how we just sat here in this backyard, we working and we just took the time to talk. You know what I mean? How many people do that throughout the day at their job? You just take the time to talk about whatever's on your mind. And not, a prefabricated conversation that you got off of Instagram about Jason and Bradley in the backyard.
That's an OD dope ass podcast name. Jason and Bradley in the backyard.
Well, everything happens in the backyard.
Right.
Working, smoking.
The world's is a backyard.
The world is a backyard, baby. You know what I mean?
Hell yeah.
So, yeah. Until the next time, we gonna chop it up with y'all. All right?
That's what it is.